brief, whatever it was.
Marcus, do you have any idea this was coming? I mean, sure you get a lot of phone calls from Ray or somebody all the time, but did you know that this was coming?
Not at all. Not at all. When I got the call from Coach Tanner, he usually warms me up during our conversations. He usually starts me off with a joke. So that's what I'm assuming, basically, when he called me. But I was in shock. I was in complete shock, but I'm honored and I'm grateful because this does something special with my platform. And I'm going to be able to use it adds an extra level of credibility, and I'm able to use that when I go and speak, when I go and minister to the youth, which is my passion. But I mean, it's just it's really overwhelming, to be honest with you. It's an overwhelming feeling that I didn't expect. But I am honored and I'm grateful and I'm so happy to be a part of this university.
It's part of that because you're constantly here. It's like, it's not like you've left and they're bringing you back. I mean, it's like you're a constant fixture.
I guess you can say that. You can say that a little bit, but it's more of the team that we had. We were special. I mean, our defensive mindset, that ferocious mindset that we had, it was contagious. So more than anything, I have to credit the guys that I played with and the coaches that put me in a position to be successful. I was very familiar with the scheme before I got here because it's what I ran in high school. And they knew that, and they knew my strengths, they knew my weaknesses. They put me in situations where I could excel, and so did my teammates.
How did this university change you?
In many ways. I matured. I became independent for the first time ever in my life. It's amazing when you do things. I hadn't been perfect in my life, but when you do things remotely the right way, you do it the right way most of the time, it usually comes back to you in a good way. So this university's changed my life. It made, during this time in my life from 2010 to 2012, I learned so much about myself. And not because of the injuries, I mean, obviously that was a part of it, but because I learned sacrifice. I learned what hard work really means. My love for the game was reignited with Coach Spurrier, and during that time, I mean, it's just, I feel like a completely different person, being 27 now and looking back on that time. It's an out-of-body experience, but I'm so glad I went through it because I have developed into a person I kind of like.
Yeah.
So.
Marcus, when people talk about you, they talk about how you handled yourself and how you handled the adversity and how you now use that to help others.
Yes, sir.
Where did that come from? What in your upbringing or your family, what taught you that?
Well, it was a combination of things. I've had a mother who has experienced so much adversity, and I saw her experience all this adversity. Genetically, it's already in me to be resilient. But also, when your dreams are snatched away from you in an instant, and you dislocate your right knee on national television for everybody to see, you got to find some type of meaning if you want to continue to move forward with your life, because it was painful and I was suffering. But that, I say this everywhere I go, suffering is no longer suffering the moment that you give it meaning. And the meaning for what I went through was to share it with others, because we're all dealing with something that we can't see, whether it be an invisible element or something physical. I mean, it's always, adversity is the universal constant. Pain is inevitable. Being able to share advice on how to deal with it, so that's what I love to do.
That's what you're doing now, obviously. I mean, how does what you went through and how did you how does it help you in your current job now with this program?
Well, every week there's a new set of challenges for these guys, not only off the field but on the field. They're dealing with so much stress and pressure from all of these different people in their life. Having someone that they can come to and completely disconnect from the game, I think it's critical, and it's been eye-opening for me because you forget how demanding the job is, and let's make not bones about it. What they do is a job. Yeah, it's fun. They're athletes, but it takes a certain level of commitment to be able to, just continue to go through what they go through and put their bodies through. So being that voice that they can lean on, it's special for me.
Now you're on the field Saturday.
Oh.
What was it like walking off with those guys?
Man, I was so happy for him. I was happy myself. Selfishly, I was overjoyed because you just see how hard they work. And, did the season go as planned? No, but nothing ever does in life. Nothing ever goes the way we want it to go. And to see them humble themselves and come together after all of the turmoil that they faced this season from outside the locker room, it was a beautiful sight, and they deserved that win.
Is there a game that you could compare that to you played in, maybe the Alabama win?
Man, it had that same type of feel to it. The Alabama win, even the Florida, in 2010. But they're all unique and different in their own way because, that game was, that was an SEC game. It was defense, it was running the ball, it was stopping the run. It was what you want to see when you turn on the SEC game, and it was just so happy to be in that venue during that time. It's a memory that I'll never forget.
Which one was
bigger?
bigger?
Have you gotten a chance to look at that spread that they've got out for you, and what's going to go through your head when they call your name out tonight?
It's hard to put it into words, really, that I'm even in this situation because I'm just. I didn't get here by myself, and I have to remember that. I always will remember that. My family is here tonight. My beautiful wife is here, and some of my best friends. But my teammates and coaches and everybody who was a part of that time when I was here, they all played a part in me being able to go into the Hall of Fame. It's just amazing to say that. So.
Marcus, do you have a favorite singular moment playing football here at South Carolina?
Favorite moment playing football here? I knew I could fit in after that Georgia game, my first year, the second game of the year. It gave me that confidence. I'll never forget, before the game even started, Spencer Landing, who was one of our team captains at the time, looked me dead in my eye and said, "Control what you can control." And that just gave me a sense of, it just gave me a calming presence. And it gave me the confidence to go out there and be myself. So, that game,
Do
for
you
sure.
ever think about the Tennessee game the day you got hurt the second time? Does that still stick in your mind? Do you ever dwell on it?
Not much. Not much, to be honest with you. Whenever it's brought up, I gladly welcome a conversation about it. That's not the first thing I want to talk about, but I'm so far removed from that time. It used to sting. It used to sting thinking about it, but now I can look at it and say it happened for a reason.
Which win was bigger, the 2010 game or the Georgia game this week? Bigger win for the program.
Bigger win for the program. Both of those are pretty big. But this year, with where we've been and us, the expectation of us going out there and, quite frankly, not winning, it's hard to top last week. It really is.
Coach Muschamp said the other day there's not a day that he walks by your office and he don't see 2 or 3 or 4 players in there talking to you. How often do you counsel players, and what does that mean to you?
Yeah, every day. Every day I'm there. You know, when I don't have a speaking engagement, I mean,
Oh
it's
gosh, it's incredible. It's the first time I've stepped back on campus.
what does it mean to me? I mean, it gives me life. It gives me life. It is my purpose to be able to share
And now to come back home.
wisdom and to listen.
Tonight is
Just to listen to them. I mean, everybody needs somebody to listen to them. I truly believe
Holy
that.
cow, yeah.
If I can be that person,
That's for sure.
I mean, that for the rest of my life and continue to do that in some form or fashion, I think I'll be okay.
I gotta let him know he's got a glass shot.